The New York Appeals Court throws out the $500 million penalty Attorney General Letitia James levied at President Trump. Early reaction to National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C. has Democrats floundering, and several corporate decisions draw a heap of scorn, memes, and market chaos. I'm Tony Kinnett, host of the Daily Signal's Tony Kinnett Cast, syndicated nationally at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is Friday, August 22nd, 2025. This is the Daily Signal's top news in 10. The Appellate Division of the Supreme Court of the State of New York found the penalty put upon President Trump in the civil fraud suit brought forward by New York Attorney General Letitia James to be excessive and in violation of the Constitution. The $355 million penalty, which Judge Arthur Engoron had ordered the Trump team to pay, now with interest over $515 million, has been tossed out, according to the Daily Signal's Elizabeth Mitchell. President Trump responded to the ruling, praising the court for the, quote, courage to throw out this unlawful and disgraceful decision that was hurting business all throughout New York State. It was a political witch hunt in a business sense, the likes of which no one has ever seen before, end quote. He also responded on Truth Social with a video of the song All I Do Is Win No Matter What. And a heap of scorn was also thrown on Attorney General of New York Letitia James, currently under investigation for mortgage fraud, given several videos over the last couple of years showing her excitement and desire to go after the President of the United States, at the time the former President of the United States, in any way possible, promising to bring back a check.
But I will come back before you soon with a check for $250 million.
Particularly, James was ridiculed all day yesterday for the tweet she sent out on the 23rd of February in 2024, which was just a dollar amount, $464,576,230.62. She was very proud of that particular sum, and as the comments have been pointing out, no, she's not going to see a cent of that. Early reaction to the major reduction in crime caused by the deployment of the National Guard to Washington, D.C. has a lot of Democrats floundering and making rather curious claims. Now, we don't have the numbers for you from Thursday into Friday. They're not out by the time this is being recorded. But as for the previous day, we're up to over 600 arrests, a lot of gun seizures, drug seizures. Here's United States Attorney Jeanine Pirro for the update.
Hi, everyone. It is Judge Jeanine. It is Thursday morning, August the 21st, and we are here in D.C., where the president's surge to make D.C. safe and beautiful again is working. Last night, we had 53 arrests. 10 guns were taken off the street, making it a total of 630 arrests and 86 guns taken off the street. So what does that mean? That means those guns cannot be used to shoot or kill anyone. So as the president continues to make D.C. safe, we will continue to prosecute the cases, support the blue, and get those guns out of the hands of criminals.
Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom and Democrat Representative of Dallas, Jasmine Crockett, had a rather different and unique approach to criticizing the Trump National Guard deployment, calling this some type of a model for tyranny, and the reason Representative Crockett can no longer watch Handmaid's Tale.
To me, all this stuff is connected. It's not, none of this is in isolation. Everyone has to pay attention. These dots need to be connected. You've got the National Guard being sent now, and you talk about what Republicans don't tell you. Those governors didn't tell you they're going to send them from Tennessee, South Carolina, send them from all of these other states into Washington, D.C. You work there. You spend a lot of your time there. Tell me what it's like in D.C. Tell me what you think this is really all about. And tell me if you think this is a preview of things to come, particularly, dare I say, around election, in the midterms and beyond.
Yeah, so it's very dystopian to see. It's funny because I used to watch like The Handmaid's Tale, and I can't right? I never finished, and I can't watch it because it is too close to reality.
Now, while many in not just the Democrat official side of things, but also the legacy media are rather upset about the deployment of the National Guard to D.C., CNN's Scott Jennings made the point that perhaps the issue is that the crime policies just might be working given the reductions in almost every kind of crime in the city.
No denying DC's got a crime problem, but should these governors be sending troops from their states where they have crime problems to DC?
Well, I mean, if you're suggesting we call out the National Guard in these cities, I think that's a different conversation than our nation's capital, the District of Columbia, which is a federal zone. And I don't think it's theater. I think it's working. They've arrested hundreds of people. They've gotten a number of violent criminals off the street. Just last night, they arrested an illegal alien and a member of MS-13. They've gotten a lot of illegal guns off the street. Half of all the non-immigration arrests have come in DC's two most violent wards. There was some concern that they wouldn't be looking into the places where the crime is. That's not true. They actually have been. And so I have to say, with the amount of progress they've made in just these few days, if it improves a little bit in our nation's capital, that's good for every state because every state has people that visit there all the time. You both said they're not doing anything. The simple fact that they are there.
I didn't say all of them.
Presence,
I said a majority of them.
And having more eyes and ears on the streets of Washington, D.C., a place where there is crime happening all over the city, I don't know how you could argue that that is not a good use of their time. It's our nation's capital. It is our national capital.
For crime to go down.
It is a disgrace for it to be violent.
But just one thing on that. Some of the crime that's being committed in D.C. is by young individuals.
Yeah, and they don't prosecute people under 25. How dumb is that?
But it gets to the point of the root problem here. We have an education problem. We have a schools problem. We have a community problem.
We have a carjacking problem. We have a murder problem.
That's not going to be addressed by having the National Guard there for many years.
So I agree with you. It's hard to run cities, but it's also easy to see the error of your ways. In Washington, D.C., they limit prosecutions of people under the age of 25. Who do you think is committing the crimes?
And you know what? The mayor has been fighting against that for a while now.
Lastly, corporate decisions from all over are drawing quite a heap of scorn, memes, and market chaos. Cracker Barrel's stock fell considerably after a rebranding gone wrong, taking away Uncle Herschel, the founder of Cracker Barrel, from the logo and making a kind of a very blasé, gentrified hexagon with rounded edges instead of the traditional logo, and turning the design of the restaurants into something you would find at kind of a rundown O'Charlie's. This was criticized as being a trope that's gone on in quite a lot of places. This scorn brought on a lot of additional criticism about Cracker Barrel's commitments to a bunch of hyper-progressive policies that do seem to follow when individuals who are female, highly college-educated, and progressive find themselves at the head of the marketing and business operations sections of large corporations. Despite Cracker Barrel's CEO Julie Masino's claims that everyone has been giving them very positive feedback, the plummeting stocks show that's not likely true. In other corporate news, Marcus Lemonis is still receiving criticism and a lot of mockery from California Governor Gavin Newsom after Lemonis posted a statement that Bed Bath & Beyond, which had rebounded after a previous bankruptcy and failure as a major online retailer, would not be opening up any additional stores or business opportunities in California because of the high taxes, the regulations, the money which flows to illegal immigrant sanctuary situations. Here is Chairman Lemonis' response to some of the attacks by Governor Newsom.
Well, I think the thing that was really surprising to me is that I tried to articulate in a non-aggressive way exactly why our company wasn't going to reinvest capital in California. And what I found out this afternoon is that Governor Newsom has enough time to respond to a tweet as opposed to a private DM or having somebody reach out to remind everybody in America that in 2023, before we bought the intellectual property, that the company went out of business. We all know that Bed Bath went out of business a few years ago. Now we're trying to make a comeback. And I would think that a governor would want to attract investment, attract capital into the state. In fact, he did the opposite. He rejected it. It's a very simple model for me. As a capitalist myself, I want to do business in all 50 states, and I want to do business with all people of all political parties. That's part of being a capitalist. But what I don't want to do is put my shareholders, my employees, and myself in a situation where we're regulated to a zero. And we don't want to spend $100 million coming into California and then find out that the state's going to take it all and waste it all.
And while Walmart might be raising a couple of prices because of an earnings report that wasn't looking too good, McDonald's is actually beginning to release a series of extra value meals after criticism from their own CEO that prices had got a little too high. So if you're in the mood for some McDonald's breakfast, according to CNN and the Wall Street Journal, you might be in for some decent $5 deals instead of the $15 and $16 Whoppers. Well, I guess that'd be Burger King, that you might have been paying for breakfast in the last couple of years. So if you're in the mood for some McDonald's breakfast or perhaps a Big Mac here in a couple of weeks, you'll be able to enjoy that at $5 and $8 combos as opposed to the $15 and $16 combos, which had become common over the last couple of years. Before you go, head down to the description and make sure you're subscribed to the Tony Kinnett Cast. And join us tonight at 7 p.m. for a roundup of the day and the week's news and nonsense. It's going to be an excellent Friday evening show. Hope to see you there. I'm Tony Kinnett, and this has been the Daily Signal's Top News in 10. Take care.